Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and today I am going to be looking at some new cards. Some new cards got revealed, which is really cool, uh, and a new set as well. First of all, we do have the pre-release promos for Temporal Forces, though, which I'm going to look at real quick. Not what they do, because I've talked about that a bunch before, but they are for Alligator, which is a very powerful single price stage 2. Matang, which is a really decent metal energy accelerator. Koraidon, which is like a part of an ancient toolbox deck, and then Miraidon, which is part of a future toolbox deck. So that's cool. But I want to talk about is Crimson Haze, which is this is the Japanese set. Okay, so I have not really looked at this stuff. That's why I'm kind of unsure of the stuff going on. But yeah, so there's a new set. Why there's so many ads? So it says Blood Moon Ursaluna, Ursaluna. It'll also have Sinatra. Oh, I thought okay, Sinatra. I thought it was Sinatra. It's Sinatra. And Diplin. Um, it does not evolve, so it's like a basic, which is pretty interesting. And I didn't realize that. So I looked at only the Blood Moon Ursaluna card. That's the only card I looked at, and I thought it was a stage 2, and I was really confused. But this is a basic EX, so it gives up 2 prizes, but it has 260 HP, which is like a lot. I'm pretty sure it's the most we've seen. We saw Great Tusky X with 250, which is big, but this is a lot. It does Blood Moon 240, 5 colorless, and can't attack next turn. But you have your ability here, Elder's Technique. This Pokemon's Blood Moon attack costs 1 colorless less to use for each prize card your opponent's already taken. This is just Radiant Charizard pretty much. It has more HP though. It can actually survive hits, and also you can use it if your opponent's taken only 3 prizes. You can use this very easily, or relatively. You just attach a double turbo, hit 220. 220 is a pretty decent number to hit as well. Um, you can penny loop this. So this card, in my opinion, is kind of broken. It's not like completely broken, but it's very solid. I think this card is very powerful with penny loop, and then you just like hit really hard. We saw Oinkoloon EX, which was kind of like this, except it was a stage 1 and it hit less damage. So this is really powerful. I think you could play this in honestly almost any deck. Obviously, doesn't hit any weakness. 3 retreat is actually a big. It's really awkward. 4, there are some cards that benefit 4 retreat. There's one card. 3, obviously, it's going to be hard to get out of the active. But overall, I think this card's really insane. And as I said, I looked at this card earlier, and being a basic with 260 HP, I thought it was, I almost said 280. That would be even better, but 260 is very good. This is going to be really good because it's hard to one-shot. It is one-shottable, though, so it's not going to be like super good in every matchup, but it's really easy to attack because it's all colorless and really cheap later on. Again, no path as well. Keep that in mind. There are ways to turn this off. I'm not going to say there aren't. There are some, and those we'll see some play, but for the most part, it won't be. The ability won't be being shut down. Well, we might see like a path reprint or something like that, but for now, nothing shutting it off really. Screamtail EX next. This is a basic ancient Pokemon, so we are seeing more ancient and future Pokemon, which is really cool. Um, but anyway, this Screamtail EX, Sudden Shriek for 1 color. Oh, first of all, 190 HP, much less. That's pretty low for an EX, but you know. So Sudden Shriek for 1 colors, you can only use this if you go second during your first turn. During your opponent's next turn, they can't play any supporters from their hand. Huh. Okay, and then the Crunch 120 and discard energy from your opponent's active for Psychic Colorless. Colorless. That's pretty underwhelming. Um, not completely used. No, that's pretty bad because there's a Boufflant that like lost zones it that's better. It doesn't do as much damage, but this second attack is pretty bad. But Sudden Shriek, that's interesting. With obviously supporter lock is annoying. There isn't really much supporter lock in standard, like much at all. There is some, but it's pretty bad. There's a Crobat. I actually don't know what there is, but I know there's a Crobat. That might be the only one. And that's a pretty cool card. But pretty bad as well. So you could potentially set up with like use it turn 1 with Screamtail and then go into other things. I don't think this Screamtail is very good though overall. You could put this in Ancient Box if you like miss your turn 1 attack, but because you like don't accelerate energy, you could use this. But then you just switch into it as well. But it's not like garbage. I think this card might end up seeing some play, but the supporter locking isn't super powerful, especially when you're only doing it once, right? It'll slow them down potentially depending on their hand, but honestly, we have Ace Specs, we have like Force Steel Stone, and we have Squawkabilly. Oh, this doesn't stop Squawkabilly, or it's not the Squawkabilly turn that you're disrupting. They won't be able to use Squawkabilly on. It'll be at your opponent's second turn going second, or no, they're going first. Yeah, sorry. I was like, yeah, this is your first turn going second. And so their second turn going first, this will be what you're disrupting, which is okay. But also you could just go like second, or you could go first and then it just doesn't do anything. So yeah, I don't think this card's very good. Iron Thorns EX is pretty interesting here, 230 HP, or I don't know if it's interesting, but 230 is much more. Initialize your ability. First of all, the attack is Lightning Colors, cost 140. Move an energy from this to one of your bench Pokemon. That is completely fine, but not particularly good. There are some really good future like support cards, but uh, anyway, ugh, sorry, I just woke up. I'm tired. Initialize. Well, this Pokemon is in the active spot. Pokemon with the rule box in play, except any future Pokemon don't have any abilities. What? Oh, okay. So this is an ability lock Pokemon I was talking about, not this one, because I didn't know about this. Um, so this stops. So Rulebox Pokemon. This is interesting. I don't know. I think this is okay. I don't know. I'm not happy about this, honestly. I kind of was hoping Pidgeot wouldn't have like any way to shut its ability off, but this is fine. This is really good against Pidgeot. It also one-shots it, but for the most part, this isn't super useful. I mean, we have cards like it, but we have like Klefki and there's a Mismagius and or no, the Fluttermane, which is not Mismagius. So we have a few cards like it. For the most part, I don't think this ability is awful. I think you could use it as like walling stuff or like disruption stuff, but I don't think it's the most useful card. You could like penny loop it and play it in control, and I don't despise that. But I don't think this card is that good. Its attack, it is for retreat, which is actually interesting because Iron Hands EX, same typing, and also 4 retreat, and there's a tool that like conserves energy with 4 retreats, so that could be useful, but I don't think this card's super good. Next up, I don't know, I don't really love it. I'm as I said, I was kind of hoping we wouldn't have a card like Path. And this card is definitely not as good as Path because it needs to be in the active, um, but it's interesting and it could see some play, especially if Lightning gets good support, which it doesn't have right now, or post rotation. These are all post rotation, so no Flaffy. There is electric generator, but that's okay, but nothing. In my opinion, electric generator can't really carry a deck. Anyway, next up, Applin, Find a Friend, pretty nothing there. That's fine. Then we got Diplin. Isn't there like a stage 2 to Diplin? Doesn't Diplin like evolve into something else? Well, guess we're not getting that. Diplin, Candied Catcher. Switch in one of your opponent's bench to the active. Does 70 to the new active. I mean, that's okay, but it's not that good. As I said, I believe this evolves, but um, are we getting? Wait, did it say? Here it says we will be getting Diplin. Okay, yeah, it might not evolve in this set. So that is fun. That's not fun. That actually, my card's not very good. In the future, it will evolve, I believe, into Hydrapple. I think that's what it is. But this is not Hydrapple, and that looks like that is not in this set. And it looks like it's not on the artwork either. So, okay. Anyway, next up we have a bunch of train. Oh, okay. This card. We'll talk about that card in a second. That card's very good. There's only a Parent though. Read up to 2 Pokemon from your hand, shuffle them into your deck, then search deck for up to that many Pokemon. Reveal and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. So this is a card Pokemon Communication, which is this, but for 1 Pokemon. This card seems like not very good but also really weird. Like it's really niche. You need to have a hand with Pokemon, but you also want Pokemon. So you need to have a deck with a lot of Pokemon that also are really good, but in different scenarios. Initially, I thought of like Zoroark box that's rotating, but something like that. But even then, I probably wouldn't play this because you need to do more than just get Pokemon in your hand. I think this card's pretty terrible, unfortunately. It's niche in when you can use it. It's niche when you want to use it, and even the situations where you want to use it, there are probably better cards. I mean, usually you'd want evolution Pokemon or basics. If you want basics, you can play. I don't know. This card just doesn't seem very good, is what I'm saying. It's kind of niche and awkward. I'm trying to think, and I can't think of a particularly great scenario. I mean, there are scenarios when it could be useful, but I'd rather play a card like Jack or Clavel or something. I don't know if Clavel's right as well, how to pronounce that card. Someone I like asked in a video how do I pronounce this, but I said it as an offhand comment, and someone answered, and I was like, oh no, now I like should actually remember how to pronounce it, and I think it's Clavel. But anyway, you'd like in certain situations you'd rather play that because you get like more Pokemon. So I don't think this card's very good because I don't think he'll be hitting 2 Pokemon. You need to be using it for the 2 Pokemon like every time you use it, and I don't think you're going to be doing that. Enhanced Hammer. This card, I was not expecting to see reprinted, honestly, ever. But I'm happy about it. Yeah, honestly, it doesn't matter right now. But Enhanced Hammer discuss special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon as an item. We saw Fan of Waves. That is rotating. Fan of Waves is essentially directly worse than this. Does that put it back into the deck? I'm happy to see this card back, I guess. Special Energy isn't super useful right now. I mean, it's like, okay, Lugia's really good. Or post rotation, Lugia's like, it's good. It's not like broken or anything. Arceus is still good. Like double Turbo Energy is good, is what I'm saying. Gift Energy is also very good, but not played a ton. And I think that's about it. Like I can't think of other special energies to see play. Rapid Strike is rotating. Single Strike is also rotating. Like all that stuff's rotating. Um, so I don't know the use of this card. I'm sure it has some use though, and I think in the future it'll become pretty good. So I'm looking forward to seeing this card see play. It can be a little annoying, but in my opinion, it's not that annoying. It's a really cool card. We've seen it a few times in the past. It's been pretty decent and also like balanced. I think it's a really fun card, really balanced card. This is I literally had like the same reaction when I saw Counter Catcher. Cool card, classic card, not broken. Counter Catcher, excuse me, Counter Catcher is definitely better than Enhanced Hammer in my opinion. Well, actually, no. I think there have been and previously Enhanced Hammer was better, but right now Special Energy isn't dominating. So right now Counter Catcher will be better, assuming we don't see broken Special Energy. I was like scrolling down, like what if there's like what if there's a Special Energy that I'm just ignoring? But yeah, no. So I think Enhanced Hammer is pretty cool. I'm excited to see it back. Community Center is a stadium once during each player's turn. If that player has already played a supporter from their hand, they may heal 10 damage from each of their Pokemon. Okay, we're talking about Champions Festival now. Yay. So Champions Festival was a stadium that was like a Worlds promo that was kind of similar, but worse than this. Obviously, you're probably trying to play a support every turn. It's not a lot of healing. The thing I don't like about cards like this is if you don't have a supporter because you got unlucky and missed it in the early game, then you're falling behind, and this helps the player who's not falling behind. I think um, comebacks are good, right? If you're just winning the whole game and then you just win, um, that's not so exciting, you know. So I'm not a massive fan of the stadium, but I don't hate it either. It's not very powerful either. You need some way to move damage around, and I don't think we have that right now. I could be wrong. I'm trying to think, and I can't think of anything. So and then in that situation, it could be useful, but aside from that, I feel like it's it's moderately interesting, you know, because it allows you to heal some and heal any type, and it's a stadium, so you can like reuse it or something. I don't know. This card isn't very good. Next up we got Caretaker. Draw two. Oh, if Community Center is in play, shuffle this Caretaker back into your deck. What? What is this? Why? Why is what? This seems bad. Like it's draw. I was like draw two. I thought it was gonna be if that stays in play, draw two more. Um, am I missing something? This seems bad. Like this stadium seems kind of bad, and this supporter's just draw two. Oh, I guess it's because you can continually use Community Center, and you'll always have supporters. But it's not actually stop. I was like, oh, it can stop you from decking out. I guess it does. I don't think you can play this if you don't have any cards in your deck, actually, no. So it won't stop you from decking out. Um, this is a weird card. I think it's bad, though. I mean, if you think Community Center is good, then Caretaker's like, okay. But Caretaker doesn't help. Like, Caretaker helps Community Center. Community Center doesn't make Caretaker good. Um, yeah, I don't think these cards are very good. So that is kind of strange. But anyway, next up we got Lucky Helmet. If you're damaged, and it's a tool. If it's attached and you're damaged, you draw two. It's fine. I mean, this card hasn't really seen much play, but it's a card. It's fine, I guess. I'd mention Gift Energy. It's kind of like Gift Energy. Lastly, Unfair Stamp. That seems like a bad name for a card. I'm scared. You can only play this if one of your Pokemon is knocked out last turn. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck. Oh, and you draw 5, your opponent draws 2. Okay. Initially I'm like, oh, this is kind of like Roxanne. Um, let's see. So this is if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. So that could happen obviously through damage from an attack, but also effects of attacks, or like abilities, right? So it doesn't need to be knocked out by damage. Also pretty sick looking art. I love this art. I think this is really cool. This is like, oh, okay, it looks kind of off. The aspec cards always look like kind of ugly in the image, like because it has a pattern, but it's kind of off because it doesn't have like it's meant to have the hollow foil pattern, or like it does have it, but it's not quite right. But I do love the art. Is this card good? Yeah, it's pretty good. It's obviously very disruptive. You can play this in control. Is it my big question, like, is it better than Roxanne or Iono, which are supporters, but yeah, I'm kind of comparing it to them, and they're draw supporters. So I'd probably rather play Prime Catcher and Iono and Roxanne than a bunch like Boss and then Unfair Stamp. I don't know though. I could see it going either way. We don't have Raihan, so this is a good thing to do. If one of your Pokemon was knocked out last turn, it kind of fulfills that role. I guess it's not really similar to Raihan much at all, but it does have that similar text. And Raihan is super good. Um, yeah, no, someone was like, this is like a reset stamp. But I don't know. I think some of these cards are pretty cool. I think Unfair Stamp's pretty nice. I think it'll see some play in some decks. I'm not sure what just yet, but it's a pretty good card when you hit it. It's a little hard to find though. So you could like Arvid for it, but at that point just play like Iono. I don't know. Obviously Ionoing them down to 5 or say or I guess Unfair Stamping them down to 2 is a big difference. Um, I personally would have said you draw 6. I think that would have been more balanced, but it's very good. I'm not saying this card's bad. It could be kind of broken, honestly. I know that because like the massive amount of disruption, you can't just pop it and then your opponent just like loses their hand. It needs to be after you're knocked out, so you can't use it turn one. Well, you technically can use it turn one, but that's not happening. You can use it turn one going second if your opponent knocks out one of your Pokemon turn one. I think this card's fine. I don't think it. I think it's pretty good. I think I like the design. Pretty cool. Other cards, the Enhanced Samurai are really cool. Para and the Community Center and Caretaker aren't very good. Oh, Fion, I missed Fion. Beckon, put a supporter from your discard into your hand. Water Press, it does 20 for each energy attached to your opponent's active. A really cool card. I really like cards designed like this. They have 2 attacks. They're both usable. Is this card good? Beckon's not too bad, honestly, but there are better options. There's Regieleki from Astral Radiance that recovers any trainer and it has more HP, so it's better. But this is kind of cool. I don't think it's very good, but in some sense, like if there's a fire deck that just stacks tons of energy onto a Pokemon, it could be good. And we've seen that before, right? So it's not impossible. But overall, I think it's fine. I don't think it's very good, but I like the design of it. So Diplin, obviously not very good. It will evolve, but maybe not in this set. But Unfair Stamp, Enhanced Hammer, obviously pretty good. Iron Thorns is okay. I don't think Scream Tail is very good, but I do think Blood Moon Ursa Luna EX is incredible. I think Blood Moon Ursa Luna EX is borderline broken because it's Radiant Charizard, and Radiant Charizard's really good. It does actually do less, but that's fine. It's easier to use than Radiant Charizard, though, and actually can live, and that's the big deal. Radiant Charizard will generally not live after it attacks, which is like a big deal. And this is a multi-prizer. In some sense, multi-prizers are bad. Obviously, giving up prizes is bad, but it could be useful, right? I think Blood Moon Ursa Luna EX is pretty insane. But anyway, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on this set. Comment down below what you think. But if you enjoyed, subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff. And I'm excited to see you in the next one.